Is Laurie Gagan. I am with Main Street Media Utah.org. And today we are getting ready to interview Paul, who was the original founder of Ancestry.com. We are actually going to be talking about the new citizens portal called citizenportal.ai. We're live streaming this to PoisonedPower off of our Rumble channel. So any of you that want to pass that along, or if you want to pass the recording along, please feel free to do that. So we've just popped up for those of you who are actually watching. You can see the website for Citizen Portal. So Paul, let's just start off. Why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll go right to some of the questions and comments that some of our viewers have.
Great. Thanks for having me on, Laurie. I'm really happy to be here, and it's great to meet you, and I'm excited to share the story a little bit. My best friend and I started Ancestry.com together. We really started working on it in 95, and then in July of 97, we incorporated Ancestry.com, spun it out of another company, raised some capital, and tried to turn it into the great genealogy database that anyone in the world could use to discover their heritage and learn their family history. So I was a Russian major in college. I loved American history in high school. And when the internet came out, all of a sudden you have a new way to communicate and to share information. And when we started Ancestry, one of the reasons we did it was that all the birth, marriage, and death records in the world are in the public domain. They're not copyrighted. So therefore, we didn't need permission to index all of them and build a big database that everyone in the world could use. And Citizen Portal was started a couple of years ago with a similar concept. Every local government jurisdiction has meetings, they have budgets, they have documents, they pass laws and rules, and they have regulations. And if you think about the thousands of counties in the United States, the many thousands of cities and towns and villages, and then the 50 states, the few territories, and then the federal government, it's a massive engine of activity and publishing and rulemaking. But there's not really a very good place on the internet for any citizen to go to really find out what's going on. So
correct.
We started to say, well, what if some of the original ancestry engineers and what if, people that helped us build that could come back together and help us build kind of the Ancestry.com for citizens, for a database, the biggest database, the most personalized way for citizens to find out what's going on in their local, state, and federal government. And thankfully, so much federal content comes out that is not copyrighted. It's available. We can grab it, we can index it, we can make it searchable, we can transcribe all the government meetings. And so, yeah, Citizen Portal is about 2 years old. And I think we're a few days away from making our biggest launch in history and moving us towards hopefully becoming Ancestry.com scale in terms of indexing everything and providing access to everybody for the things that matter to them in government.
Well, I could tell you that I'm super excited. I have been, your brother actually came over and gave us some training on it. And I've actually been using it just to find out, government, what's going on in the government behind the scenes for, the poison that's in the water, poison that's in the air, poison that's in the food. And I've actually been able to find some of the podcasts with some of the doctors that I work with. So I'm excited because I have heard a little bit about the new launch that's coming up. So I'm super excited about it. But why don't we go in straight to the questions? So the first question that I have for you, Paul, is what lessons from the successful company that you have learned are you going to take with you into this citizens portal? Because obviously we were business owners of an IT company, and sometimes you walk away with some of the things you wished you can change. So out of all the stuff that you've learned with Ancestry, what are you going to implement into citizenportal.ai?
It's a fun question. In some ways, I look at the world today, and if you're starting a company today, there are so many different ways to reach customers that didn't exist 30 years ago. And so the world's changed a lot. So in some ways, I feel like a dinosaur because I don't use TikTok, I don't use Instagram, I don't use Facebook. I know I've used all of them in the past, but I don't want to waste my time, spend my life consuming an algorithmic feed, from other content creators. I'd rather learn things from other sources and build things. And so, I will use Facebook, TikTok, and all the social media platforms to publish information about Citizen Portal, and literally every article that we create can be advertised or posted on all those channels. But one of the fun facts is that Ancestry.com started before Google existed. It started before there was a LinkedIn. It started before there was a Facebook. So if you're starting an internet company in 95, 96, or 97, and there's no Google, Facebook, or LinkedIn, how do you advertise and get millions of users? We had to be very scrappy. And all of the people at Ancestry in my marketing team, I bought them a book called Guerrilla Marketing Online, 100 Low-Cost and No-Cost Tactics for Acquiring Customers. So we tried dozens and dozens of ways to get people to find out about Ancestry.com that didn't require spending money on Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, or Google ads. So one of the things that Citizen Portal will do is we will bring back all of those clever tricks and techniques that don't cost us millions of dollars, and we can then find ways to get millions of users without spending on advertising. So that's one of the successes that Ancestry had that we are definitely bringing back. We'll create viral marketing loops. We'll have millions of our customers become affiliates and share links with other people and earn a commission. We'll incentivize our users to share features and content so that they can earn money. And so some of our paying subscribers at Citizen Portal could start earning many thousands of dollars a year by becoming citizen journalists and by sharing what's going on in local, state, and federal government with their social followers. And so anyway, it's very exciting. But one of the most appealing reasons why we don't want to spend millions of dollars on advertising is that it's easy to start a company and lose control of it to your investors. At Ancestry.com, after we raised our first $75 million in funding, we were on the verge of $1 billion IPO, but my co-founder and I and my brother, who had been CEO, lost control of the business to our investors. And when the dot-com bubble burst, a lot of ugly things happened over the next year. And I won't even tell you, but the percentage ownership of the founding team dropped to a very tiny percentage. It was really sad to lose control of the board, and even sadder to lose control of the product vision. And so some of the most exciting things Ancestry ever did got shut down years later, and we learned hard lessons that way. So the way that Citizen Portal is funded is that there won't be venture capitalists controlling the company or controlling the board. We actually have almost 2,000 investors in Citizen Portal, and we hope that grows. But Citizen Portal will be massively distributed ownership. We hope someday to have tens of thousands of investors and to build a really great company that becomes the main platform for citizens in this great country to become informed and participate and find out what's really going on and then take actions. But so we've learned some really good lessons from our successes. We've learned even more important lessons from our failures to keep control of Ancestry.com. And we've structured the company so that won't happen next time.
And I think sometimes the best successes are the things that you learn from your failure. So given your background, all right, we know 100% that the truth in government corruption is you can't find it. You can't find the facts. We learned that during the pandemic, the lockdowns, the stuff that is going on with SB 54 and Phil Lyman and Spencer, Jay Cox, who I don't really consider my governor, you know, with all the election fraud being to be able to buy your way on the ballot. So there's a lot of, we're looking for the unfiltered truth, which we are very hopeful that it's going to be citizensportal.ai. I haven't heard a negative thing about not being able to find the truth. And out of all the research that I've done, looking at some of the videos, some of the things that's going on in the Capitol, even some of our community town halls where I found a couple video Zooms with me talking. What is the benefit to being a citizen journalist that will be using the citizenportal.ai?
I mean, one way to answer that, Laurie, is that 30 years ago, if you were a genealogist trying to put together a 300-year history of your family, it would take you years and many thousands of dollars to travel, to correspond. The data was distributed all over the world, and it was an enormous feat to gather that data and put together your family history. Now it's about 1,000 times easier to build your family history than it was back then. The goal with Citizen Portal is to literally index every government meeting, every agenda, all the notes, and then all the official bills, policies, rules, regulations, all the court cases. And AI can easily process, billions of documents and help you find the nuggets that you're looking for. So it's not there yet, but in the next few years, we hope that it's 1,000 times easier to be a fully informed citizen, and it's 1,000 times harder for anyone to do corrupt things because the public will find out either through meeting transcriptions or government documents that have to be filed, or spending FOIA requests to track down all the spending that our governments do. There's some really exciting entities out there besides Citizen Portal, and we plan to partner with a lot of them. Ballotpedia is the biggest voter site in the United States, and we hope to partner with them. We've had some great conversations with them. Open Secrets tracks campaign funding across the United States and has been a very exciting nonprofit for 30 years. And we hope to partner with them, and they have APIs. And so we're in conversations like, what if every public meeting you could list the major donors to all the elected officials who are in that public meeting and just have the funding data side by side to the actual transcript of the meeting? And then there's another company that does over 50,000 FOIA requests a year, not to find out what the government's budgets are and the department's budgets are, but to actually FOIA request the checkbook data on where the spending, which vendors got the money. And if that openthebooks.com type data can also be indexed by AI, there's fewer rocks for corrupt officials to hide under.
Okay, so that's pretty awesome. I like that. So let's unpack this just a little bit more. How can the citizens, and because we're in Utah, how can Utah citizens leverage citizenportal.ai to uncover local stories in their communities, gather credible information, and
I've lost connection. I can still see my video, but I can't hear or see anything right now.
Yeah, Laurie, we've lost your audio. Something happened to your mic. Can you hear us? Nod your head. I don't think she knows. Wonder why we lost her. Laurie, we've lost your mic. Can you hear us? Nod your head. No. Hang on, Paul. I'll get us back.
Paul, are you there?
Yes, I am. I can hear you
Oh,
now.
all right. I apologize about that. I'm not sure what happened. Technology. Let me repeat
You
that
are
question.
you are both back. I don't know what happened to your audio, but we lost you for a minute, and when you exited out, came back in, you're good.
Yeah.
Tracy here was here. Tracy's here as well. So
Okay. All right. Well, let's get back to that question because I want to
you
unpack this.
you dropped out with your first question. So
Yes.
go on
So
back.
thanks, Dwayne. So let's unpack this just a little bit further. How can Utah citizens leverage citizensportal.ai to uncover local stories, gather credible information, and amplify their voices as impactful citizen journalists? Because we all know, as journalists and podcasters, are, some of the big government would like for us just to go away, so they tend to silence us. So how can Citizens Portal prevent that and allow us to do what we need to do as either citizens, podcasters, people
Yeah.
looking to do good?
So first of all, there will be a free version of citizenportal.ai that allows anybody in the United States to access what we think will be about 1 million news articles per month that are generated directly from the transcripts of meetings. So every public meeting that's transcribed, we can detect the beginning and ending of every topic, and then we'll write an AI article about that. And the article will be very accurate. It'll reflect what happened in the meeting. It will also link to the original clip from the meeting and the official our accurate transcript of the meeting. Within a few days, Laurie, there will be an easy button to share any article that you come across.
Yes.
You can share it publicly on 5 or 6 social media channels, or if you have a list of, let's say, 100 friends or members of your group that want to stay informed, you'll be able to share each article with a couple clicks with your lists. That's the beginning of where we're heading. And then in the future, it'll be obvious if there are city or county meetings that are recorded, but they don't publish them on the internet. We hope someday citizens can even potentially go in and record meetings, but most states have open meetings laws that require meetings to be recorded and official minutes created of those meetings. But one of the things citizens will be able to help us with in the coming months is help us find videos that we don't have in the system yet, and help us put more videos, and then more government documents will make it possible for people to say, oh, here's a policy briefing from our senator. It hasn't been found yet by Citizen Portal. We have a team of about 20 people that are trying to find all the videos and all the government documents for thousands of cities and counties and for all 50 states. But pretty soon we'll invite Citizen Portal users to help us fill in the gaps. We really want to be ubiquitous. We want to be everywhere, and we want to be indexing every important official government document and meeting as well. But we will create a financial incentive for Citizen Portal users to share individual articles, or we're working on a story builder feature that allows you to find 10 things from different meetings, put it together into an article, and kind of publish your own article, and potentially maybe publish your own podcast. But it takes a lot of intelligence and effort to find little bits and pieces and to put it into a coherent story, or to make a case that something's happening that shouldn't be happening, and then to share that story or that case with fellow citizens. And so we hope that over time we can build a publishing platform that allows more and more of you citizen journalists to find and share not only bits, but to put together puzzles and share the entire puzzle with others, including our lawmakers and our elected officials that often don't know the full truth and they don't know what's going on. And so it's quite an exciting early stage for Ancestry. But again, we're thinking of of Citizen Portal. We're thinking of all the parallels, the things we learned, millions of people uploading genealogy content to create the world's best genealogy company. and citizens will be able to suggest ideas, or eventually we'll have a whole group of us that are active citizens who want better government and better outcomes, collectively joining forces and organizing access to the data, and then creating truth telling and storytelling that can convince other people that our position has truth in it, or it's accurate, or this is a better policy than that. So it's quite exciting, but we're in such a beginning stage that we're just excited to get our first few million users and then build what people ask us and need us to build.
Well, I got to tell you, it's exciting. And I just want to recap what you just said. So for those citizens listening out there, because we're gonna put this out on other platforms, and we're hoping that maybe we could spend some time with you and Carlos just kind of walking through just how somebody would search for something. I think it's so important that this gets out. So for the listeners, you go to Citizen Portal, that's CITIZEN, portal, PORTAL.ai. You can create a free user. And then from there, Paul, do they have to necessarily put in their city and state? And I'm hoping that we can do another podcast where we can just get on and just kind of just give a brief overview. Do they have to put in their city and state, or can they just search without putting that on? Because when you go in and you create your user, then you get an email basically with the confirmation. And from there, when you go into the city that you're living, I know that you can search on keywords on some of the stuff that you're looking for. So for me, when I first started using it, I just wanted to see if there was anything on me out there. And so I went into Heber City. I just put the keywords Laurie Gagan, and then I was on a Zoom call at the city council talking about the toxins in the water. But I had already selected Heber. So when somebody is going on and creating a user account, one, do they have to put in their city and state, or can they start searching right away?
Yeah. In the next 2 or 3 days, we're relaunching the site. It'll be the biggest relaunch in 2 years, and it will be so much easier for every new user. You'll go to the homepage, you'll be able to search and find every article that has been created about the topics you care about, the locations you care about. It's going to be way easier to use. And as you choose to put in your interests and issues that you care about, the news feed will become personalized to you based on where you live or what you're interested in. But you won't even have to disclose any of that. New users, free users, even unregistered users will have access to over 1 million news stories a month. So there will be a free version that doesn't require even registering. There's more services available if you register and tell us where you live and what topics you care about. And then if you become a paying subscriber, you'll have access to very powerful databases of, for example, all the Supreme Court rulings in history that are searchable. We'll have GPTs that you can ask a question and have the AI come back with a very accurate answer. We have libraries of millions of pages of documents, and there are some very great features for our premium users, our paying subscribers. But just start using Citizen Portal, and then in the coming weeks, you'll see more and more documents, more and more features, more and more powerful social features. But I would say every 2 weeks or so, you'll see a significant improvement in the website. It's just exciting for me because I watched Ancestry go from nothing to maybe 3 years in. It was a very exciting, powerful company and great product. But it took us about 2 or 3 years to really get it right. And I feel like we're 2 years into Citizen Portal, and 2025 is going to be an extraordinary year for content and personalized features and social features, so that citizens can not only become informed, but become organized and engaged in getting better government.
Well, I thank you for spending this time with me. So citizensportal.ai, for any of you going out there and creating your account and you need some assistance, you can email us at info@poisonedpower.com, and it's PoisonedPower. So poisonedpower.com, info@poisonedpower. We will actually walk you through creating this account. We hope that you'll be sharing it with your fellow neighbor in your community. And we will be doing another podcast just to kind of show you step through, maybe do a quick video from your iPhone where you're capturing someone talking political corruption. That there's a lot of that in Utah, I'm sorry. And where you'll be able to upload it. That's going to be the biggest feature for me, because that's the truth that you cannot find. So Paul, thank you very, very much for spending this time. I certainly look forward to next week seeing the new launch, and we're very excited about citizenportal.ai. So thank you very much. And
thank you for having us on. Thanks, Laurie.
yes, and Merry Christmas, and we'll be in touch.
Merry
All right.
Christmas. Bye-bye.
Okay.